Hello, my fellow YouTubers. This is Roy back again. Welcome to Edleedskalnin's workshop. I'm going to have a brief discussion, real quick. You guys ready? All right. So, I was just reading an article that was in an old newspaper, and it was in regards to Henry Ford's first prototype Model Ts. And there was a little thing in the paper that Ed Spider Huff was the engineer for Henry Ford, and he had in the beginning he had taken these V-shaped magnets and he had these little like half moons on the end here on both sides. So when that round coil went past it, well, actually the round coil was fastened all the way around, but fastened to the motor block itself, and then these magnets just went by the coil, which was set like this. So every time this magnet would go by the coil, it would make and break the magnetic field, so it would create electric. So the article I was just reading was fascinating because what it is talking about on the prototypes that they didn't use in production, what a problem they had was that the RPMs of there was 40 horsepower of this motor, right? So the RPMs on the 40 horsepower would, with that array that was built, it would make the Model T like try to lift off the ground, like it was like coming up. And it was because of the RPMs and the magnetic wheel just turning in such quick RPMs. It's probably doing something like a top would do. And when you spin a top, basically it stands right up on itself and it goes and travels, and and same thing with a gyroscope thing. When you turn it, it runs on the wire, comes down, comes around, and it defies gravity, obviously, because it's spinning. So it gave me an idea. I said, in regards to Edleedskalnin's picture, where he's got the chain hanging, and you look at the chains are all bound up and stuff, like magnetic pulses are going through them. I wanted to talk about something, because this here I have set up on the quest that we're working on this wheel. One of the major parts are that the top of this handle becomes a spark gap. So I just realized that that chain hook doesn't have to touch the handle. It just needs to come into some proximity before she just releases and just makes that connection. So with that being said, that clarifies the top now, that this handle, which is connected to the whole shaft, the whole crankshaft, and the block itself, there is going to be a lot of energy built up in that when I get a hold of it. And it's going to want to be able to bust out of here, this positive, into the negative, into the ground. So it is not only going to be coming out of here and spark gap it every time it goes through there. On this bottom section, where the other bottom spark gap is going to be, that one's going to have the opposite polarity, because what's going to happen is this block is going to go ahead and it's going to be segregating the poles itself. So it's going to have a certain charge on top and a certain charge on bottom. So simultaneously, it's going to be releasing through the top to ground and through the bottom to ground. So it's something that's different that hasn't been out there, I noticed, is that it's not just one particular pole coming out of here. It's actually a mono pole situation, to where it's going to be released in both ends of it. So it's going to create this loop. into the ground. But something I want to show you real cool, and basically I'm going to spin this with my left hand, and I'm going to get it going. I don't know how many RPMs it's going, but it seems like I have this block screwed in really good, and it seems like I can hear the screws like cranking a little bit, like it wants to come up or something. It's crazy, but you guys, you can see I'm not even close to my speed capacity, but watch this.